All right, picking up where we left off, this will be part 2 to Word Module 1, Textbook Project 1.2. Boy, that's a lot to say. But anyway, we're just picking up where we left off, and I'm on page WD 1-39 in case you were following along in the textbook. And what we're going to be doing in this section is changing the font and the font size, as well as some other text effects and things of that nature. All right, so most people that can operate in Word know how to change the font style and size. So what we're going to do, we want to go again, make sure that in the view that we are at 120%. Okay, right now it says 76, so let's go ahead and click on that and type in 120 and click OK. All right, and so that makes it larger. It's just easier for us to see while we are working within our document. And then we want to go to the Home tab. And in the Home tab, we want to make sure that we want to verify that we're at the very beginning of the document, and right now we're not. So we're going to go Control Home, and that takes us to the very beginning entry point of the document. Now we want to press and hold the Shift button and click to the right of the second paragraph marker at the end of the second paragraph of the text. The first two paragraphs are selected. So we want to again click the Shift button, and we want to go back and click at the end of the second paragraph. So this would be Shift and click. And when I do that, it actually highlights or selects paragraph number 1 and paragraph number 2. Okay, so now what the font box in the font group will display the name of the font that is in this selected section. So we are on the Home tab, and here is our font group. So in our font group, right here, you can see that we are in Calibri 11. And what we want to do is we want to actually make this change. And so text within the body. All right, it's ordinary text as opposed to titles, or that's when this says body. It's not titles or headings, it's just plain ordinary text. Okay, so in the font group, you want to click the font arrow. Okay, so here is the font arrow. And you can see that there is a large number of different types of fonts that are listed here, and you can choose and go through and you can see how they're written based on their name. So in other words, this says elephant, okay, and this is the elephant font, and these are also in alphabetical order, as you can tell. All right, so we're going to come back up here to the top. We're still in Calibri. And what they want us to do here, we actually want to change, and you can see as I go through Arial Black, since that is highlighted, as I scroll through these, it actually makes, this is called a live. It makes the live changes as you go through, a live preview. So in other words, when I get there and I'm like, oh, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that, but if you were to click on it, it would actually remain. Okay, so this is called a live preview. But the one that we want is called the Arial. All right, so I'm going to go to Arial, and this is where it's written in, and then what I'm going to do is just click that. And when I click that, it automatically makes the change there. All right, the other thing that you can do, there is the font size, which is located directly beside. If you were to click that arrow, you can also do a live preview. As you continue to scroll down, the numbers get larger, so does the font. And you're not making a change because I haven't clicked on anything. So this, again, is just a live preview. But what they want us to do is change it on the font size menu. They want us to actually go to 22. So I'm going to go to 22, and from there, I'm going to click it. And when I click it, it actually applies it. Instead of looking at a live preview, it actually makes that change there. All right, so then we want to select the 3 paragraphs of text below the photo and format them in the Arial font, and then change them to 22-point font. So again, I'm going to go here. I'm going to click my shift button. I'm going to go to the end of the third paragraph, and when I do, it automatically highlights all of it. I'm going to go up to the font group. I'm going to select Arial, and see, it's also actually recently used, so it's already moved close to the top. All right, so I'm going to click Arial. Then the next thing I want to do here is change it to 22 as well. So I'm going to click on 22. All right, so this is actually what it should look like when you finish changing your font size and style based on what the book wants you to do for this particular project. So now, in order to unselect, I'm just going to go to a white section on our page here, click in it deselects this, and the next thing we want to do is go up to our file button, our save button, and click it and make sure that it gets saved with where we are right now. All right, so this is where we are now starting. Let's move on to applying text effects, font colors, and font styles. So we're looking at the text and font, those types of things, and we're going to be making some adjustments there. All right, so it says scroll up if necessary to display the beginning of the document. So if I want to do that, I can also go to Control Home, and I am at the beginning of my document. All right, and then click in the selection bar to the left of the second paragraph, and the entire second paragraph is selected. All right, so we want to select the entire second paragraph. In the font group on the Home tab, what we want to do is go to Text Effects and Typography button. Okay, it's actually located right here, and if you scroll over it with your cursor, it says Text Effects and Typography. All right, so you know that you're in the right place even though it's not formally labeled. All right, and once you go and you click the arrow beside it, you get a whole gallery of different types of text effects that you can apply here. All right, and that's what this is called. This is called the gallery. And again, as you go over it, and just don't click on anything, but just kind of hover over it, we're getting a live preview of what these particular text effects are going to look like. All right, and in the middle of the bottom row of the gallery, place the pointer over the blue letter A, and the screen tip will display the full name, and it should say Fill Blue, Accent Color 5, Outline White, Background Color 1, Hard Shadow Blue, Accent Color 5. All right, and as I've been reading that off, I was looking up, and that's exactly what this says. So I know that this is the right one they want us to select. Okay, and all right, and a live preview of the effect begins to show in the document, and that's exactly what we've done. All right, so we want to actually click on that blue letter A, and it makes the change within our document. All right. So on the bold ribbon, it says the text effects is applied and the text effects gallery now closes. The second paragraph is formatted in blue, just as it's shown in the top of the page of that book, of your book, in the visual overview. And on the ribbon, you will also notice up here in the font group that when I applied that, it automatically applied the bold because that was part of that particular text effect. So it's not just, it is a group of things that are done to that piece of text, which does include, in this particular case, by the notation of that B there, which means that it was in bold. All right. Now, the next thing that we want to do is make the text stand out even a little bit more by increasing that font size, okay? And an easy way to do that is to go up here, okay? And this says increase font size, and the one next to it says to decrease font size. So another way, instead of coming here and choosing a number, what you can do is you can come over here, let's unclick that, and then you can increase the font size. Okay, if I click once, it goes from 22, and notice it changes the number right here as well to 24. All right, and then now what we want to do, we want to increase the font size button again. So we're going to click that one more time, and now you can see that it has run it up to 26 point for our font. All right. So now that's another way that you can do that. And so if you need to decrease the font size, you can use the decrease font size button, okay, which is located right beside it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click decrease, but then I'm just going to go right back and increase it up to 26, which is what they want it to be. All right. Then we are asked to emphasize the third and fourth paragraphs by adding bold and a blue font color. So now we want to do is select the third and the fourth paragraph. Okay, so this is the paragraph. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to start here, and we're going to go here, click Shift, and and click, and what it's going to do is highlight or select paragraphs 3 and 4. All right. So what we want to do is, it says in the font group on the home tab, we want to click the font color arrow, which is this. It's in the font group, and we go right here. Mine is by default showing up red. And so, but if you'll scroll over it, it does say font color, and you'll go to the arrow beside it, and the gallery will pull down, giving you a large number of different colors that you can select from. All right, black is the default color on the font, and it appears at the top of the color of the font color gallery with the word automatic next to it. So that just means that is the default. Now the options in the theme colors are complementary colors that work well and use together in a document. Okay. So you can see these are theme colors. So these are all different variations of blue. This is a different color blue, and all the variations that are part of it. And again, as you take your cursor and you scroll over it, you're getting that live preview to give you some idea before you make a selection as to what color you might want to go with as far as what looks good. All right, now in the theme color selection, we want to place the pointer over the square that is second from the right in the top row. So this is the right, okay, second from the top. The screen tip will show the color's name as blue accent 5. All right, so blue accent 5. All right, and a live preview of the color shows as it appears in the document, where the text you selected in step 1 now appears in blue. What we want to do is we want to click on that. And so when we click on that, you can see it automatically changes that to the color blue that we selected. Also, what we want to do is we want to go in the font group, and we want to make that also bold so it will stand out even more. All right, so what I want to do is I want to click in the white section as to unselect or deselect that particular part of text. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to complete some paragraph formatting, starting with paragraph alignment. Okay, so we actually worked within our font group here, and we didn't use all of our tools that are located in that group, but we did use the font name, font size, increase font, decrease font, text effects, as well as font color. All right, those are some of the different things that we use. Now, the next thing that we're going to be working in is our paragraph group right here. So again, we just dealt with fonts. Now we're going to move to larger sections of the document, which is the paragraph. All right. There are different ways that you can set up or align your document. These little icons right here are going to be a big help. I actually use these very frequently. So this is called align left, or I usually call it left align, but anyway, it's align left, and that just shows you that everything is aligned to the left side of the page. If you go over here to this one, align right, that means everything is going to be aligned on the right side of the page. Or you can go center, and then it will be centered on the middle part of the page. This is called justify, and that means it tries to evenly distribute it between both right and left. Pictures act a little bit differently, so that's the reason why that you saw that the way that it was. Okay, so we're going to go back and put it left align because that's the way that it was when we first got here. All right, so that is part of that. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do, we want to center align the text. So we want to make sure that the Home tab is still selected. We are on the Home tab right there, and what we want to do is to press Control A. And what Control A gives you, A stands for all. So you're selecting all. In other words, everything on that document, everything on that page is selected. So that again is Control A. You're selecting all. That's where that A stands for. Then after you have selected everything on that page, what we want to do is we want to center it. So I'm going to go to my paragraph group, and I'm going to go to this center icon, click it once, and everything that we selected gets centered on the page. And I'm going to click in the white area to deselect it. And then I'm also going to click the Save button. And with that, that's going to be the end of part 2 video. And I will pick up on the next section, which will be part 3, beginning on WD 1-45 in your textbook. All right, and I will see you back in the next video.